Hi TupiTubers! I'm Julie, your animation partner here on the TupiTube channel. Starting from this video, I want to make the comment section official, where I'll share some of the comments that you leave me on the channel. This is a recognition of all the people who keep supporting my content and inspire me to create more tutorials. Thank you so much! In this video, we'll be doing a practice session focused on the node editor. Even though we've already used this feature during our first illustration exercise, it's time to dive deeper into how this tool works because we'll be using it in a lot of future sessions. If you haven't done the illustration exercise from our session number 3 yet, I'm leaving the link here and in the video description so you can go and check it out. The node editor is the tool that allows us to modify any type of stroke we make on the canvas. With this feature, we can adjust the segment or the entire length of any line we draw. We usually use the node editor when we need to smooth or refine curved segments, extend a stroke to make it longer or shorten it. It's important to mention that if you're using a digital pen like this one, the node editor will come in handy from time to time. But if you're working with a mouse instead, like this one, I think you're going to love this tool. With it, we'll have much more control over the designs of any element we want to draw. Think of the node editor as our new best friend, for now. Alright, let's start by opening the TupiTube app as usual. Next, let's create a new project and begin by drawing a small stroke on the canvas or workspace. Let's keep it simple, just a very short line. Now, let's remember where the node editor is located. It's the sixth icon from top to bottom on the toolbar on the left side of the workspace. Once you click on the editor, you'll notice a panel appear on the right edge of the workspace. There you'll see a brief description of some of the shortcuts we'll be using during this practice. This window will be very useful whenever you need to recall any of the commands. But let's start from the beginning. Once the editor is active, we're going to click on the line we drew a moment ago. As you can see, two things just happened. First, some small green squares appeared on the line. We'll call each one of these nodes. And yes, that's why the editor is named that way. Second, a new component was added to the right panel. But let's break it down. What exactly is a node? Well, it's a control point that allows us to modify the segment of the line where it's placed. I'm guessing that you noticed two things. First, as you drag the node, the line we drew starts stretching towards the direction we're moving the node. This means we can lengthen the lines as much as we want in whichever direction we choose. The second thing, and equally important, is that the selected node, which is green, will have one or two white auxiliary nodes connected to it. Usually, if the node is at one end of the line, it will only have one auxiliary node. But if it's in the middle of this stroke, it will have two. These auxiliary nodes can also be dragged, and as you can see on the screen, they allow us to adjust the smoothness of the curve on the segment where that node is located. Once you understand how nodes work, it's just a matter of practice to get used to using them to modify your strokes as you like. Let's move on to review the new component that appeared in the Properties panel of the node editor. This feature is designed to simplify the selected stroke. In other words, it helps us remove nodes when we have too many and want our line to have fewer segments. Usually, when you use the pencil tool to make a long and complex stroke, if you try to edit it directly, you'll notice that a large number of nodes can appear, which can be quite cumbersome to manipulate. This is where the simplification tool comes to the rescue. The further you move the contour to the left, the fewer nodes will appear on the stroke, eventually reducing it to just 2 nodes. Conversely, the further you move it to the right, the more nodes you recover, returning to the original version of the stroke. Great! Let's do our first practice of the day. We'll take the first stroke we made and, using the simplification tool, reduce it to just 3 nodes. After that, we'll edit it through its nodes to create the shape of a heart. Just to clarify, you don't have to achieve a perfect shape. In fact, you can create your own version, just like I will.
finish
Photoshop, I'm going to use the Fill tool just for fun. First, I'll go to the color palette and choose red. Then I'll activate the Fill tool and that's it! Keep in mind this recommendation. Taking this example into account, it's important to note that our Fill tool is quite limited and currently only allows filling off close shapes. This means the ends of the strokes need to be very close together, like in the heart we just drew. This tip is crucial because when coloring your designs, making sure to close all the pieces of your illustration will make your work much easier. Don't forget it! Continuing with our practice, let's do a new exercise. We'll create a new project and draw a small stroke again. Then we'll activate the node editor, select our stroke, and this time go to the node simplifier to ensure that our line has only 2 nodes. Now let's edit our stroke and stretch it a bit in both directions. Now let's add a new node in the middle of the stroke. But before doing that, we need to understand that there are 2 types of nodes, curved nodes and straight nodes. Curved nodes are the ones that have auxiliary nodes, meaning the ones we've used before. Having auxiliary nodes allow us to curve the segments we want to edit. On the other hand, straight nodes can have 1 or no auxiliary nodes, and while they allow us to modify the line segment, they do so in a straight manner, at least on one of their sides. Generally, during your practice, you'll be using curved nodes, but it's important to know that you can also use straight nodes when needed. So, how do we add a node? It's very simple. If we want to add a curved node, we press the Shift key and click on the segment of the stroke where we want to add it. That's it. As you can see, we now have 3 nodes on our stroke. And of course, you can add as many as you like. For straight nodes, the process is similar but using the Ctrl key instead. You can add as many as you need this way too. An interesting thing when creating nodes is that you can also convert them from curved to straight and from straight to curved as you like. This means that you can change their behavior depending on your needs. To do this, simply select the node you want to convert and press the M key. If the node was curved, it will start behaving like a straight node, and vice versa. Let me show you with an example. I'm going to draw a line using the pencil and then select it with the node editor. By default, all the nodes in a stroke are curved. Notice how they behave. All of them have auxiliary nodes, meaning the white ones. Now I'm going to convert them into straight nodes one by one. See how they behave now? I can only create straight segments. The good thing is that I can switch a node's behavior as many times as I want, from curved to straight and straight to curved without any problem. We already know how to add a node, but how do we delete one? It's very simple. Just click on the node you want to remove and press the X key. And that's it! You can delete as many nodes as you need, even until the entire stroke disappears. Alright, now that we are clear on the basic operations, we can perform with nodes. It's time to practice for real! Our big challenge for this session will be to create the silhouette of a character or an object. For this, you can start with the reference that interests you. Or, if you prefer, you can create your own design. Either option is fine. The important thing is that you get comfortable with the node editor and its various features. I'm going to do 2 exercises that I'll show you in a moment, but you can do 5, 10, 20, as many as you can. This way, your skills in modifying strokes will improve a lot. In summary, what I'm going to do is build the entire outline that defines the figure of a character and then of an object. I'll start with a very simple line that only has 2 nodes, and using the options we just reviewed. I'll gradually extend and shape it into my illustration, which will basically become the silhouette of something. At the end of my practice, I challenge you to guess what figures I drew. Let me know in the comments! Alright, I finished my first illustration. Now I'll go to the color palette and choose black to fill in my silhouette. I activate the fill tool, click on the stroke, and done! Have you guessed who it is yet? To wrap up this first exercise, I'm going to publish it in the TupiTube community. I go to the top menu, click on Publish, then Publish Frame, and that's it! It's time to start my second practice. Let's begin! And to finish up, I'll follow the same filling procedure I used in the previous exercise and publish it in our community. And that's it! TupiTubers, I hope that you really enjoyed today's practice session. And it's important to mention that while our main goal for this journey is to become animators, it's important to also improve our skills as illustrators. Exercises like the ones we did in this video will help us improve the control that we have over these strokes of our characters and scenes. In fact, I can assure you that in future videos we'll do many more exercises related to illustration. If you like this video, give it a like and don't forget to post your illustration exercise on the TupiTube community so I can go check it out and try to guess what your silhouettes are. Bye TupiTubers! Stay tuned!